Oh no!
What happened?
No! Oh no, dude! I dropped it all over my mouse pad.
Well, that's one
No.
way to start the podcast. Welcome back, guys, to another episode of the Outlier podcast. I believe it's number 18.
It
Yeah,
is 18.
he just dropped his watermelon all over the.
I was trying to show y'all my beautiful watermelon, and it freaking spilled all over my
Dude,
freaking mouse pad.
you put stuff on it, huh? What's on that?
Yeah. Uh, Tahine and chamoy. No, not chamoy. The liquid one. Is that chamoy?
Yeah, I believe so.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Tahine and chamoy. Because I'm a fat ass.
You don't like chamoy on chips, huh?
Nah.
That
Well,
that
I'm
should
not that big on chips, but
yeah that's really good. What about lemon on chips?
like a tortilla chips, I'm good with that.
Damn. Anyways, all right, guys. So we're gonna start it off with the "Would you rather," but sadly, we do not have one from Estevan or anyone this week. So we came up with our own.
Yeah.
He has one and I have one. So I'll go with mine first.
Let's
Would you
do it.
rather? Would you rather be smart but a total jerk, or really sweet but really dumb?
Smart, but a jerk. I feel like that actually goes along with intelligence. Is like you're gonna eventually piss off a lot of people because I think that people don't really want to know the truth, and so smart people know that it's worth telling the truth, even though you're gonna piss off a lot of people. So I think that actually does happen nowadays. You see Elon Musk pissing off a lot of people on Twitter, and
Yeah, but
I,
a total jerk though, that's different, right? Like you're just an asshole all the time for no reason.
yeah, I'll go with that.
Yeah. I think I would too, just because I wouldn't be able to stand knowing that people think I'm dumb or treat me as less because they think I'm not smart, you know?
Yeah, you
So
would know that.
yeah,
I was gonna say,
you
would
would
you know
know.
you're dumb? But you
Yeah.
would know other people think you're dumb for sure. So
Yeah.
that's a good, yeah.
Oh wait, here's another one. Would you rather Actually, I think I know the answer to this because you kind of already live it. But would you rather live in a country with a low cost of living but horrible weather, or live in a country with a high cost of living and amazing weather?
Mm, that's a very good question because we can
States.
look at we can look at Greenland. Like we're looking at the world map.
Oh
It's like
yeah, yeah.
nobody lives over there. The cost of living is probably so cheap, but the weather sucks.
Yeah,
So
but
I personally would just go for like a happy medium, but obviously that's not, you know,
the
that's not up for
question.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
not the question. And when we're talking Texas, California, I would go with Texas, but Texas has decent weather, so I couldn't really say that. If I had the
Not when I
extreme
went.
if I had the extreme of like really, really, really crappy weather and like, the other side, I'd probably go with high cost of living, amazing weather. Because I think the worst case scenario of weather would be like snowing, like 24/7. Not like we're like in Alaska. I think it's like for 4 to 6 months of the year, you only get like 4 hours of sunlight in the day or something like that. Or like there's several months you go with darkness. Like I wouldn't be like, what's the point of living in a cheap area and making a lot of money if you can't really do much with it?
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I would go with the good weather for sure. I wouldn't. I don't. I hate heat specifically. Like I'm an indoor person, so if um if it's like snowy and shit, like I wouldn't mind that, right? Like, but then again, I haven't really lived in the snow, so I'm sure there's people out there that are like, no, that's way
Yeah.
worse. But for me, I can't stand the heat. Like for instance, when I went out to Texas, it was it was so thick and sticky.
I'll show you
It
something thick and
it
sticky.
it felt fucking disgusting. Like you invited me at the wrong time because everywhere I went was like I felt like I had a blanket on me, and at one point it even rained, right? And I was like, ooh, it's probably gonna be refreshing, some nice cold droplets. But instead, it was the opposite. It was like hot water on your skin. It was horrible.
I don't know. I think you're over exaggerating, but even if
Think
you aren't,
so? I think you're just
yeah,
used to it, bro.
maybe.
Yeah, because I mean, you talk about your friend that he's been living there for a while. And he complains about it, right? He doesn't want to work out outside because it's so hot. And you're over here like, stop being a pussy. And in my head, I'm like, nah, dude, it's hot out there. But you're like, oh, he should be used to it by now, right?
That's true. Yeah. Yeah,
Do you have a would you rather?
I do. Would you rather, and this is straight off the dome, because this is something that I would like to do, but I'm kind of too scared to do. Would you rather spend the night in the woods without any camping gear, middle of nowhere, you're basically lost, or stay one night in a proclaimed haunted house? I would say haunted hospital. Proclaimed, right? So you don't know for sure, but you're gonna have to stay in one or the other
And this is by yourself?
by yourself.
Wait, so the other ones is in the woods. Do you have equipment and stuff?
Nothing.
Like just bare?
One night, yeah, just bare. You have to survive one night.
Fuck, that's a really good one. I think, man, honestly, in either situation, I'm getting no sleep. You know?
You think?
Yeah, if I'm out in the woods, I'm gonna be worried about like bears or
Everything, bro.
yeah,
Everything,
snakes.
bro.
Like fuck no, yeah, fuck that. I think I would go with the haunted house because at least you don't have to worry about shit crawling on you and stuff like that. Although I'm gonna be shitting myself because I'm super scared of paranormal stuff.
Yeah.
And and it's so easy to get into your head, especially when it comes to that stuff. Like I find myself doing that all the time. Like if like for instance when I was younger and I would go to sleep in the dark, obviously, every little sound would be amplified and I would make the worst out of it and absolutely freak myself out. So if I were to be in a haunted house, I would freak the fuck out for sure, especially by myself. So
Yeah, I feel you. I would also go with the haunted hospital just because. Yeah, I think that the woods or like the deep forested area would be so unpredictable. You climb a tree, you don't know if there's snakes, fucking cheetahs or I don't know, you whatever climbs trees, bro. Like you just don't know,
a
dude.
sloth,
A lemur.
a sabumafu.
And even though like you're in a haunted hospital, I feel like you're less physically in harm.
Yeah.
You're more like it's more spiritual, it's more psychological. You kind of have to like be in your head, not be in your head rather.
Yeah.
Imagine you just fall asleep and you just sleep through the night, nothing happens.
That would be best case scenario.
Or like a bunch of stuff happens but you just kind of miss it cuz you're asleep.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to do that though. I'm telling you, no matter how tired I am, I would be shitting myself. Again, guys, if you guys would do us the favor and comment what you guys would pick, that would be amazing. I feel like most of you guys are gonna go with the haunted house, especially because there's people that like to seek that type of shit out.
Yeah.
You know?
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, also like on top of leaving questions, leave your answers too. I think that'd be a cool thing to see.
Yeah, leave both. And obviously if you have a question, we'll talk about it in the next one. But do you have any others or is that it?
No, that's it.
Okay, guys. So I wanted to talk about this documentary. I know I talk about documentaries a lot, but that's because that's a lot of what I'm into. Like I love learning about stuff that you wouldn't otherwise hear of if you weren't If it weren't for documentaries, I find a
Yeah.
lot of interest. Like one of my favorites of the last couple years that has came out was the Night Stalker one. Did you ever see that one?
No.
That's a great one, bro. You have to watch it. Basically, it's about this guy that at night, obviously, he goes and he sneaks into people's houses and he kills them. And so they couldn't catch the guy for the longest. And the way they caught him was because this guy wore the same shoe at every incident, I guess. And so they got the footprint of that and they kind of like tracked it down because this guy had like one of the only shoes in LA, right? So he had like I don't know, this specific brand, and there was only one pair of those sold in in LA. So he had this like super rare shoe, but it was cheap, but it just wasn't common. So that's how
Yeah.
they were able to catch him because of his footprint. But anyways, that's a
Wow.
really good one. You should watch it. The one I want to talk to you about is one that you and I are very well versed in, which is swatting. A lot of people don't know what swatting is, right? So this is more of a series than just a full documentary. It's a documentary series, and then the first episode they talk about this guy who, basically, let me sum it up for you guys.
Well,
They,
explain what swatting is for
yeah,
the people
okay.
who don't know.
So swatting is basically you someone makes a fake phone call saying, "Hey, my dad is he has a gun. He killed my mom. He killed my sister. I need you guys to come save me." Right? That's basically what they do. And then they give them the address, and then obviously the SWAT team shows up with guns, full force. And yeah, that's it. Basically, you call a false, um,
Threat.
false threat onto whoever you don't like. That's basically what happens. So this
Which is
guy,
crazy, dude.
yeah. So if you guys want a better idea of what it is, all you have to do is type in swatting live on YouTube, and you'll find it all over the place because it's very common for YouTubers, streamers, and influencers in general. So yeah, so basically, no one had ever gotten killed by this until one day there was these two guys playing Call of Duty, and one of them lost $1.50 on the wager, right? And so they got into this huge argument, and then the guy contacted this other guy that is very famous for swatting. Like that's what his thing. He's this anonymous guy that swats people for a price. So he contacts him. He goes, "Hey, I need you to swat this guy." And then of course he did it, right? Except he kind of went out of the normal of his script, which is just a normal SWAT, right? Just get the cops there, that's it. But this time he went over the top, and he like went into detail about how he has hostages and he has guns, and just over the top, right? So eventually the cops show up, and they get this. He gave them the wrong address, so they show up to a address of people that have nothing to do with it, have no idea like about this wager, about Call of Duty, nothing. Shows up, the guy answers the door. They tell him to put his hands up, and so he kind of swung his hand down, and because of that, they shot him dead.
So it wasn't even the right house.
It wasn't even the right house. It was a complete stranger.
No way,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, man, fucking
No
insane.
way, bro. That's tragic, bro.
Not even the right house, bro.
That's tragic, bro.
Yeah, and so
Dude, like, just imagine opening the door like it's a random night, random evening, and like you shot dead, or like one of your family. Wow, bro. Holy.
yeah, so yeah. Do you remember this story or no? Because you and I we are very we
Well
were
versed in it.
well versed in the Call of Duty scene and in the drama around that, and this was on Drama Alert. I'm surprised you don't remember this, but
Yeah, you see, here's the thing. I knew of swatting, and I knew that it was prevalent in the whole gaming community, especially when when we were deep into Call of Duty. But I was never like interested enough to like go YouTube or go check the news about it and stuff like that. I just like it just kind of happened to famous people is what I thought. So I was like,
Yeah. So apparently it happened to famous people the most, but it happened to random people because of this guy that would offer it as a service. Pay me $20 and I'll swat anyone you want. Basically, is what his thing was.
20 bucks,
Yeah. So
20 measly
and
bucks, bro.
they interviewed him and they asked him, right, like how much do you charge people, and he would say anywhere from $20 to $50. And so they were like, why so low? He was like, well, honestly, I just like the thrill of doing it. And so before this guy had gotten this innocent man killed, he had previously went to jail for 2 years for swatting. So he got caught, he came out of jail, and he started doing it again, but this time he was doing it for money because he was now grown up and he got kicked out of his grandma's house, and so he had to make money. And the only skill he had, this piece of shit, was swatting. So he made money off of that, and that's what he did.
That
Yeah.
is crazy, bro.
Yeah, I highly recommend you guys watch it because it's something that a lot of people, the average person, doesn't know about. Like, you hear the word swatting and you don't know what it is. It's something that it's like people call it a prank, but it's a deadly prank that
Yeah, dude.
is not a prank at all. And he kind of had no remorse about it either. He was just like, oh well, like it's not my fault that the cop shot him dead. I didn't pull the trigger.
You know what's crazy, dude, is that like we see a lot of these kind of trolls in the whole Call of Duty community, especially when we were growing up. It was a really popular thing for people to hack your IP.
Yeah.
And like you'd be talking smack to somebody and they'll like know your address within the next 5 minutes.
So yeah, not only that, but it started off as they would get your IP and then they would fry your router, so it would just turn off your internet. That's how it started, right? And then eventually it evolved into people calling the whole SWAT team on you. And for those of you that don't know, the only way to get to SWAT, and not just the police to your house, but the actual SWAT, with full body armor, like assault rifles and everything, is for a serious threat like a hostage situation so it's very extreme.
Dude, that's just so crazy to me. It's crazy to me how like kids, I don't know, dude. Like, I don't see myself going out of my way to even look up somebody's IP, or like that's just so like for what?
Yeah. And he kind of blamed it on gaming, like, oh, like this is something that I learned from the gaming culture and shit like that, which is true, right? But at a certain point, you have to take responsibility. No one made you do that, no 100%. One. So, and thankfully, you and I, for how much shit we talk and how aggressive we are online, we haven't gotten swatted or anything.
Yeah, dude, I had this funny story. I was playing with Classic, which is a gaming friend that Saul and I have from back in the day. We were playing, and there was this female on the other team, and my buddy was talking straight smack to her, and she was like, because there's like those trolls that they say they can boot you off, but they don't really got it. And so she was like, oh, I'll boot you off right now. I'll fry your router. And he's like, yeah, you won't do anything, whatever. Literally like 10 seconds later, bro, offline. Dude, we freaked out, dude. It was so crazy. Back then we used Skype. We didn't use Discord, but he called me on Skype. He's like, dude, I can't get back on. I was like, dude, like it's so crazy, dude.
Yeah, so I've gotten hit offline. Have you?
No, never.
I have, yeah. So I was one, especially back in Black Ops 2 days. I used to talk a lot of shit. And again, we always ran into those people like, you better shut the fuck up before I boot you offline, right? That was what everyone threatened, right? And I would go, yeah, shut the fuck up. You can't do shit. And so, yeah, so when it happened to me, bro, I felt so violated, right? Like I felt,
Vulnerable.
yeah, vulnerable, unsafe, because to in order to do that, they have to have your IP, and with your IP comes your address and everything, right? So that's something that's like very, very scary, especially if a random stranger has your information like that. Like, I remember this one time, I saw this video of this guy talking shit exactly like how you and I do, and he goes, "Shut the fuck up before I boot you offline." He goes, "Ah, you can't do shit," and then he proceeds to name his first and last name, his mom and dad's name, his address, what school he goes to, and like all his information, all his personal information, and this guy just backs out. Yeah, he just leaves. He just leaves the lobby. He's like, yeah, you could,
Yeah,
at that
what
point,
else do you do,
yeah,
bro?
you're gonna shit yourself, right? That's scary, right? That's like having powers. Like that's just
Yeah.
terrifying. Do you want to tell the story about what happened to our friend Brian?
Oh yes, bro. That's so perfect. That's a great. It's like it's kind of on topic but kind of off topic. Like, dude, that's so hilarious. So we have this guy named Brian, which we actually just recently got back into contact with. How long ago was this? Maybe 4 or 5 years ago?
Um, what game were we playing?
Maybe.
I don't think it was Black. Was it Black Ops 2?
I think it was Black Ops 3, you know? No. Yeah, dude. It was after Ghost for sure.
Yeah, so it must have been like four. No.
Maybe like 4 years ago. Timeline doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically we were playing with this guy and he was like in he had just got a girlfriend, right? So he was like in that lovebird stage. So like
Yeah.
everything all he talked about was that girlfriend. And he's like, "Oh, I can't play long tonight because I'm gonna go with my girl." And I don't know what. I was like, "Okay, yeah, whatever." And so like he's like, "All right, guys, I gotta go. I'll play with y'all later. I'm gonna go to my girl's house." Literally, like maybe a couple minutes later, this guy hops back online, and we're like, "Brian, why is Brian getting back on?" And he enters our chat room and he just starts crying. He's super hysterical. He's crying. He's yelling. He's like, "Oh, he shot him. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do." And I don't know what. And we're like, "What?" Keep in mind, guys, like we were younger, right? And we just laughed at everything. We're just kind of like
Yeah.
those group
But
of friends.
before you continue, you guys gotta also keep in mind is that this guy Brian was known for exaggerating and lying. So this
Mhm.
he would exaggerate and lie about a bunch of stuff that was unnecessary. So whenever he
Yes.
came into our chat crying, you and I immediately assumed it was false, right? Whatever he was crying about. But
It
go
was
ahead.
over exaggerated and yeah, 'cause he was kind of a compulsive liar, and so when somebody's like that, you just don't take their word for face value often. But yeah, so he's hysterical, and we're like, What happened?" He's like, my brother, he shot someone. I don't know what." And we're like, "What?" We're trying to make sense out of it, but we were kind of laughing. We were kind of smickering in the background
Yeah.
because we just didn't believe him until we actually started to hear the sirens in the background. We heard his mom crying and yelling, or whoever it was. There was like it was basically very hysterical in the background. Like everybody was yelling and it was like crazy. And so he finally calmed down just a little bit. And he's like, "Oh, my brother, he shot somebody that was trying to break in and I don't know what." And he's like, "I gotta go. I gotta go." He was crying, leaves the chat. And we were just like, we actually started laughing after.
Yeah, so we're laughing during while he's crying to us, right? But you guys got to keep in mind is that one thing that made it so funny to us was the fact that he got offline to go to his girlfriend's house, right? So he was already in the process of leaving to his girlfriend's house.
Yeah, bro, I
And then
remember.
somewhere somewhere during that time his brother shot and killed someone that was trying to break in the house, right? He finds out about this information and his first thought is to get back online on PlayStation and join our chat and tell us and cry to us, you know?
Oh my god, bro.
the fact that he did that was hilarious in itself, right? And of course we didn't believe it, right? But again, we heard I want to say it was his mom crying, like, and then kids crying, and then you hear the cops in the background, the sirens, and then you could tell he was crying, like he was really crying. So that after that, we're like, damn, why were we laughing so hard? We're fucked up. But it was like little things that just kind of made us lose it, which we probably sound like horrible people for that, but
Yeah, people listening are probably like, "Damn, I don't want to be these guys' friends," which is why we have a small group.
yeah, for sure.
But dude, that's so true. Like, dude, that's not the first thing I'm doing, dude.
Yeah.
Like, what is somebody halfway across the country gonna do for me?
Yeah. But like think about it, this guy like put his headset on, like you know?
He got in his chair.
Yeah. Fucking
The beep. and for those of you that know gaming consoles, it takes a while to like load in the game because you have to load in the game in order to be in the chat. Like, oh my god. Because back then, I don't think there was like a party system chat. You had to be in the game and then get invited, and then you had to be in the same party. So think about how long he waited there. He's probably just like crying. Like, I don't know, dude. That's
yeah, man. But yeah, we recently got into contact with this guy again. I don't know if he's gonna be cool with us telling that story, but
I don't know, bro. He doesn't listen to the podcast, but maybe if we told him we talked about this, he'd probably check it out and probably get pissed.
yeah.
Hey, Brian's crazy though, right? Brian has a kid, right?
Yeah, he does. You're about to have one too.
Yeah, I don't see Brian as a dad though.
I don't see you as a dad, bro. You're a very selfish person.
Oh, here we go.
Like, so I don't know if selfish is the right word, but you're exactly like me. Like
self-centered.
Yeah, like your needs come first, right? But maybe having a kid is a good thing for you. Maybe having that kid will teach you to share your time with other people more and be more considerate of others.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because like I agree with you. I feel like my deep desire is to inspire others, but in my way, which kind of defeats the purpose. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I don't want to do it the way people say it. I want to do it my way, which is kind of, contradictory. So I understand what you're saying. And
when's your birthday again? 22nd or 23rd?
Yeah, it's 23rd. So
23rd?
in 2 days. Well, in 6 minutes, it'll officially be 1 day.
Yeah. Okay. So guys, by the time this episode comes out, I want you guys to comment down below. Happy birthday, Roger. He's gonna be 26.
Yeah, bro, I'm getting old.
26. I know he doesn't look it. He looks 35, but that's what cocaine does to you, bro.
Have you ever done drugs?
Cocaine, no. I've only smoked weed and drank. That's it.
Really?
I've done edible one time, but I fell asleep, so it didn't take effect.
I asked Chung Lee yesterday, somebody that we've been playing with, if this person had ever done drugs, and this person said no, never. Which strikes me because I would think like, oh, this person would
have you done drugs?
Never. I've never tried anything.
Wait, you haven't smoked weed?
Nothing. I've never smoked weed. I've never smoked a cigarette. All I've done is drink alcohol. And I do it very moderately now. But I do want to try some type of DMT before I die, like within the next 5 years, maybe 10 years. What I really want to do
before you die?
Yeah,
within the next 10 years, you're gonna die or what?
I said, or within the next 5 years.
Okay. I thought you were planning
no, moms. Yeah, dude. Because what I recently found out, because I listen to a lot of podcasts. Like, bro, if y'all check out my Spotify, y'all see there's a shitload of podcasts. But I follow a lot of psychologists, and a lot of them do psychedelic therapy, bro. Where they take some type of psychedelic drug and they go through a certain type of therapy. There's several kinds, but there's like the more common one, which is you're talking to somebody, but just while you're on you're on the
Yeah,
drugs.
yeah, yeah.
And then there's one where it's like you kind of have to like close everything down. You put the temperature super cold and all this stuff, but they say that it's in a healthy environment, it's very like useful. So I'm like, dang, bro, that kind of makes me think like I kind of want to try it.
Yeah, I would like to try mushrooms before I would do that because I believe like straight DMT is much stronger than mushrooms, right? For
Really?
sure.
See, I don't know that. If that is true, I'm with you on that. I would rather try like the
Yeah,
gateway.
yeah. Like take. I would rather go with mushrooms because I think you guys could correct me if I'm wrong, but I think those are not as strong as like DMT and ayahuasca and stuff. So I would love to try mushrooms first. But yeah, I would like to try some type of psychedelic. I would also now this is a controversial one. I would like to try cocaine someday.
Oh shit, bro! I wouldn't recommend that.
And why not? You think I'll get hooked?
Maybe, bro. I don't think it's worth the risk because what I know of cocaine is kind of like sugar. You just can't
Mm.
never get enough. It's like
Mm.
you get that it's that high that it's just like you just need more sugar. You need more sugar. You need more sugar. Um, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, but I like to think that I'm in control of myself enough to if I were to try it and I love it and I can't get enough, that would be like nah. But let's not be stupid, you know.
yeah. Well, here's the only thing I'll combat that with. You have to see if there's any benefits to it, and if there's benefits to it, cool. Like if there's benefits to microdosing it, then I like not that I'll support it, but it'll kind of like make sense a little bit in my head. Like, okay, I would see why somebody would want to try it. But if there's absolutely no benefits, then I'm like, what
No,
what's
yeah, I
why
don't,
would
I
you
I don't,
consider?
I don't think there's any benefit to it, but I would like to just experience it, you know, just for fun.
Nah, I have family members that I know done cocaine
And they're all
still to this day,
fucking.
still to this day, bro, and they're
They
hooked.
still,
Like,
they still do cocaine. Damn.
yeah. But those are the type of people that I just stay away from. It's crazy, bro. Like people ask me, like, you never done drugs? You never done
Wait, so
this?
you're telling me that when I go in December and I bring a bag of cocaine with me, you're not gonna
I'm
do a
not doing
line?
cocaine. I'll hit
Uh,
some shrooms with you.
what about a little bump? No.
Hell no, bro. Not cocaine.
All right. Well, I'm down to do shrooms with you.
I'm down.
I mean, I don't. I think you would have to be in a very safe environment for that, like a padded room.
Bro, you know what I think we should do? If we ever do that,
Oh,
is
okay. But here's the
record
thing,
a
though.
podcast, bro. We should
Okay.
record a
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
podcast.
yeah. This, I was thinking more in the lines of if we do this, we have to record it.
Yeah.
But if we do it while we're doing a podcast, is that? Do you think we get in trouble for that or no?
Nah, bro. I
I
don't think
think
so.
I think we can, right? Like, so I think we could do it as long as we don't show it, right? So like, if we don't take it on camera, but we
Yeah.
let people know we're on it while we're on camera, I think that's fine.
Maybe, but even if it's not here, like eventually, bro, I want to take my content to Patreon or to other websites. So like we're stuff like that we can still post it just on other websites because the truth is like YouTube bans a lot of stuff if it's in some way, shape, or form controversial. But we can hopefully this podcast and hopefully the Common Podcast makes it big enough to where we can get our crowd onto our own website and then we can do absolutely whatever we want, you know,
Yeah.
content freedom. So I think that's the goal eventually. Hopefully, we can still upload, the family friendly ones on YouTube, upload clips on YouTube, but eventually, take our route to
Patreon and
our
stuff.
website. Yeah, Patreon. And it'll benefit us too. Like for the people listening that enjoy us, y'all can help support us $3 a month or whatever y'all can do to help us out. It goes a long way.
Yeah, for sure. Anything else you want to add? No.
Yeah. So I don't know if I mentioned this in the last podcast, but by the time you're watching this one, the Common Podcast, which is my podcast, will be releasing a discussion on astrology and numerology, and basically the study of the stars, the planets, and the study of the numbers. So I'm having two guests on there, and it should be dope. I'm low key gonna try to like debunk them. They just don't know it. I couldn't tell them that because they wouldn't have hopped on. Because they're very like, they don't want to be challenged. They don't want to be combated like that.
No,
So
oh, you already recorded this, right?
no, I didn't.
Oh no,
No,
not
they,
yet.
they bailed last week, so we had to reschedule for this week.
Oh, okay, okay.
For my birthday, we're gonna record.
Yeah. So again, guys, don't forget to comment happy birthday to my boy Roger over here. 29 years old. This old ass. All right. Well, that being said, guys, make sure you drop a like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys very much. Peace.
Peace.